Oh, I'm no expert in anything. I'm not an expert in anything at all. And the last thing that I want to be an expert in is synthetic testosterone and testosterone replacement therapy. And I don't want to know hardly anything but the basics of that, because the day that I start becoming more of an expert in that is because I would have to be using it, and I don't want to use it. I don't want to have to use it at the very least till I'm like a really, really, really old man. And if I do have to use it at that point, when I'm really old, I will do it. But I want to avoid that and make that the last of the last resorts. Now, this is just my opinion. This is what I believe. And I think people are too quick because people want a quick fix, right? And they think something like that's a quick fix, even though it can be great for a lot of people. But it's a Band-Aid. Not only is it a Band-Aid, in order to make it work at its best, it requires changes in lifestyle, diet, those types of things as well, you know? And a lot of people that go on, if they're even, I don't want to say lucky, but it's kind of lucky, because most cases, the doctors aren't prescribing testosterone replacement for anyone who doesn't have the testosterone of like a 90-year-old sick man. I mean, it's probably very close to that. I just threw that out there. I don't know what the exact, there's probably some exact, like, hey, the testosterone for it's pretty close. It might be an 80-year-old sick man. But you got to have very low testosterone, like 200 and something. I don't know what the cutoff is, but I think even 300 is even high. I believe it's like 240 or and under. Don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere around there. And that's like a 80, 90-year-old sick man, So if you have that testosterone, you that's how you're going to get prescribed testosterone replacement. Then they're not even prescribing. They're not even getting people to the levels that they really would need to be at to feel like their levels were. Let's just use a number. Let's say someone feels pretty good at like 600 testosterone. Someone who's at like 150, more than likely, their testosterone has to be well over 1,000, even over 1,500, because of their sex hormone binding globulin. They have high. That's high. Their free testosterone isn't as good because of their lifestyle, their diet. All that isn't in order. It takes a long. I mean, if they've been screwing it up for 20 years before that, or 30 years before that, it's going to take a long time to get that situated. People don't want to do that. They want easy ways. So yeah, initially they're going to feel better than especially if they get their testosterone, but they're not going to get prescribed enough testosterone to be able to get those levels that they need to feel like as if they were at 600. Did I say that correctly? Hope I did. They're going to get prescribed enough to be, I don't know what it would be, but their levels are not going to be probably even exceed 700. Their levels will probably be below 700, coming from whatever, 150 or whatever. So they're gonna feel they're gonna feel better, but that's gonna, over time, that's gonna wear off, and it's gonna be less and less, and it's gonna be less effective, because that's how they're prescribing this stuff. Now there are these clinics that do. I don't know how they get away with it. I don't know if they're gonna shut them down at some point. But there are places in certain states and certain cities that people will get prescribed higher doses. They'll get prescribed testosterone replacement when their testosterone's higher. I don't know how that works. I don't want to know. because my testosterone is almost 1,000 naturally at 41. And the more that I will test, my testosterone will be over 1,000. Just depends on, it fluctuates, but roughly, but that's my goal. I don't want to know any of that. I mean, if I don't have to even think about that stuff until I'm 85 years old, I mean, that'd be amazing. And if I do at that time, I will of course do what I have to do. But it's always going to be last resort. Even when I'm 85, I want to, by that time I will already have all this, documentation of my trial and errors, and I'll be able to know, like, hey, you know what? Maybe I do need this. Maybe I need this now, But first of all, I don't need it. Let me just say, if I did what everyone else did, and if I lived like everyone else, well, see, if you live like everyone else does and you do what everyone else does, you're going to have the same testosterone as everyone. That's the thing. You have to be completely different. Diet. Mindset is huge. Diet, they're all huge. Diet, mindset, training. Now, I don't want to get into that right now, but training. And what else am I missing? Diet, mindset, training, and I'm missing something else. Lifestyle, diet, mindset, and training. Those are the 4 keys to getting your testosterone levels, which are the most important thing to males. It's the core. It's the core of us. Everything is attached to that. So it's all intertwined, but everything is attached to that. The goal should be to get to that core and make that core as strong as possible. Our testosterone. If we make our testosterone as strong as possible, everything else is going to be stronger as well. That should be our main objective for everything we do, for our diet, for our lifestyle, for our mindset, for our training. People don't do any of those things. And they're all important. Now, there is training specifically for your testosterone, but it doesn't just mean you train that way. And then there's some people that they don't like to train. They don't want to do anything. Can you have a higher testosterone without the training? If you're just talking like weights, because weights are like very modern in the grand scheme of existence, right? Because I'm one of these people, just like with nutrition stuff. I like to get my stuff from natural sources in certain ways and not have to be supplementing. Even though I do supplement vitamins and stuff, but that's all extra. I want to know that I can get my stuff from certain foods. That's just the way I am. And I can go back to when I went vegan. I wanted to be able to get my nutrition without having to take these weird foods, you know what I mean, to make up for like vitamin B12, stuff like that. The stuff that you're not going to really get eating a vegan diet. I wanted to be able to do it with food and not have to eat these weird things that I don't really want to eat, but also not have to be supplementing like I have to rely on the supplement. You know what I mean? But I do that with everything. Even if I'm taking the supplement anyways, like I take B12. But that's the way I think. So same thing with like training and stuff. I'm just throwing this in there. I know this is all kind of weird and all over the place, but because it can't just be like, hey, you lift weights like this, right? You train this certain way. It's this is what we can use. It's just like a supplement now. But weights are like, 100 years old? So, I mean, typically the way, squats, pull-ups, push-ups, dips, bench press, all of these types of, compound movements, right? They're not that old. So you go back before then, testosterone levels, I don't know how they would figure out what testosterone levels were before, but, I'm sure they would say that there were higher testosterone levels pre, 20th century. and it has to do with the diets and it has to do with so. But being physical has to be there. Some sort of being of physical a strain in certain ways. I don't want to say that and make that sound like it's just like strain, like, oh, I'm strained, I'm straining myself. You know what I mean? Because but a certain type of strain has to be there. Physical strain that is more than just like me taking this desk right here and sliding it over. You know, and then okay, there's my physical strain for the day. It's more than that. So pre all the other, pre this civilization that we live in, it's, there's different types of physical activity. And my whole thing with it, when it comes to training and weightlifting and exercise, I personally believe, and I made this up for my own self. People can do whatever they want with it, but I made this up a long time ago for my own self. And there's exercise, there's working out, there's training, there's sport, and then there's extreme physical manual labor that is similar to like a sport as far as like what damage it does to you. Sport does damage to you. Extreme physical manual labor, such as what I've done my whole life, was masonry. All those constructions, concrete, masonry, framing, roofing, all of it, you name it. Anything building, if you're working for a company that you're basically like an assembly line and you're damaging your body as much or more than people who are at a high level of sport. It's very similar. Could even be more, depending on what it is, because you're doing it 8 hours a day, every day. You don't have the nutrition, you don't have the drugs that they have, all these different things, right? So you're damaging your body. Training it's in the middle. It can damage, and it can not damage. But working out shouldn't be damaging to your body. Exercise shouldn't be damaging to your body. Just throw that out there. But I have a whole philosophy on that, and it's to me it makes sense. I don't tell people this. There's like my 3 aisles: agile, mobile, virile. That's for me. That's how I base, like, hey, I need to be agile, I need to be mobile, and I need to be virile. Those are my goals in life. This stuff's for me, and if people can benefit from that, it's great. But testosterone replacement should be the last resort. And those things that I mentioned: diet, lifestyle, training, and mindset. Those things are the things that you have to separate yourself from everyone else. You have to be on your own planet, on your own island when it comes to those things. If you want to reach your natural testosterone potential and keep it there, the thing is that we fluctuate day to day anyways. Like you can screw up your hormones by eating a big bowl of this big of ice cream, out of nowhere. Like if I were to eat a big bowl of ice cream this big, I'd be a little bit screwed up for a couple days. Not to mention my digestive system, all types of, it's all intertwined, That stuff's so important. People want, well, I just want to have high testosterone. You want to have high testosterone, even if you take shots, even if you take more. Let's say you go and you have 150 testosterone and you get prescribed enough testosterone and you're at 500. Now you're in the normal. You still don't feel great, right? So you go to Mexico and you get illegal stuff, and you get Sustanon, and now you're taking it on your own, and you're taking more, and now your testosterone's 2,500 or whatever. Well, I really hope that person knows what they're doing when it comes to the estrogen and all the that stuff like that, because they're gonna have to. They don't know how to do that. If they don't know how to balance all that out, they're gonna screw themselves up even more than probably having the low testosterone. It'll take time though, but it's a band-aid. All that stuff's a band-aid, and the people that really and you're gonna get stuck if once you go that route. You kind of it's not necessarily that you're always going to be stuck, but man, if you really go and you're really relying on synthetic testosterone, then you might be stuck relying on it forever. And I'm not saying that that's like a horrible thing if you need it, but you definitely got to be monitored by people who really and you get. I mean, these clinics that really know what they're talking about and want people to have a higher level of testosterone. Are they going to be shut down in the next couple of years? Do they get shut down? I don't know. I don't follow any of that. I just know enough to know that that's not they're on the outside. You know what I mean? They're on the outside. So the inside is saying, hey, you know what? You got 300-400 testosterone. You're fine. Now they don't. What about your sex hormone binding globulin? What about that? What if you have high SBHG? And your free testosterone is down to nothing, and let's say you have 500 testosterone, you might feel like someone that has like 100 testosterone. So, anyways, the point is that it should be a last resort, like the very very last resort. And most people, man, they could, and it doesn't happen overnight, no matter what. Well, I guess if you take that, but that's going to slide down, Anyways, my time is up. You have yourself a great day.